Welcome to Nia's Divine Garden. This is Dania, and I really debated on this whether I wanted to say anything, and it wasn't from a lack of caring. It was like I'm not trying to attract or manifest anymore. I'm just not, and the pain and the sadness in the community is so. There's pain, sadness, anger, frustration. So much of it so loud. My so I'm trying to let whatever this little pollinating thing do its thing and just not do it above my head because we're not there yet. Um, but um, sorry. Um, my son today um was upset, or no, he wasn't upset. He was crying. But when I asked him how he felt, he said happy, but he was crying. But these were not happy tears. And understanding that my children are highly sensitive, um, because they, not simply because their mother is highly sensitive, but because they simply are. Like, I've watched them. I watch how they perceive the environment, how they react to things, how they respond to energy. I know that they're highly sensitive. And as a parent, I have to give them grace and space, but also try to help them as much as I can with as much as they can understand. And so today I was like, walking my son through just speaking like he was protected. And we always affirm that, but like his feelings are his own and that it's okay to cry. And understanding it, not understanding, but saying that my feelings are my own and my feelings are good. Your feelings are yours and I don't need to carry them. And I think that was good for me too, because as he began to cry, I could feel it. Like it washed over him and hit me. And I was just like, whoa. And I appreciate everyone speaking love and protection over their children. I appreciate everyone. And I know people's like, the people don't need thoughts and prayers and things like that. But understanding that the fact that maybe that's what the person has, it's the power they have in that moment, shouldn't, I won't say shouldn't, that's a judgment. I wouldn't stop someone from doing that. I would be cognizant of giving it directly to the family, because in that moment, speaking as someone who's lost a child, I don't know if I want that in that moment. But it would be nice to know that on a collective level, people are praying for my peace and my strength, that people were praying for the gentle transition of my children to the ancestral plane, that they're that my family members were peacefully uplifted. I would hope that white candles were lit. I would hope for peaceful discourse instead of some of this understanding that in this moment, the empaths are reacting to everything. So I made sure that my son knew. I always make sure my sons know it's okay to cry. Like, I'm not trying to raise no sociopaths without any empathy and feelings and feeling like they have to be bottling up their feelings, and that having emotions is weak with having emotions is power, because that I'm not gonna go on a tangent. But I would hope that in this moment, instead of passing judgment on anyone, that we used our words for uplifting, offering peace. I would hope that people who practice ancestral veneration, who were feeling some way about this, said, hey, let's a few of us come together and just offer love and send light to these souls, and hopefully this lights their way. There are probably people who like going to, like, well, there's a plan and there's a reason, and in the moment of that loss, it's not when people want to hear that. When things like this happen, like we need this, that, and the other thing, that is not when people want to hear that. They wanted to hear it before. They wanted to hear it before. Allow them some space to grieve. Allow the collective space to grieve before you cast judgment on them. Before you call them out for doing something wrong. Allow them some space. And after you mention it the one time, you do not have to mention it anymore. It doesn't. This is the one and only time I have any intention of saying anything, because I don't. Can you imagine, for those that believe how understand how the universe works off of the building of momentum, and how what we focus on builds momentum, and if two or more are focusing on the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, how that builds momentum. Stop the momentum. Don't attract anymore. And then on a material human sense, when it comes to what you can do it. If you feel so strongly about something being reformed or changed, then do what you need to do to make it so. And then tap into your spiritual gifts. If you feel like a reform needs to come about, and that will be protective of our families and our lives and for our future, why haven't you tried to manifest that? You were able to manifest success for your business. You were able to manifest this, that, and the other thing. Have you tried to manifest something like that? And if you feel like, I don't know that I could do that alone, have you tried to call people to you, if you have a following, and say, let us try to manifest this together? Now, that is a healing circle I would go to. You you could use your gifts for so much more. You're looking around you and you're like, you see something, say something. And it's not that it's your job to save the world, but it is your job to save the world. You just don't have to do it alone. It's not your job to carry it on your own back. There's a whole collective of spiritual workers, root workers, manifestors. You want to teach someone to manifest something. What if we teach someone to manifest free healthcare? What if we say, you know what? About 10, 20 of us manifest this. We might be able to make some, we might be able to get a little momentum behind it. It's easy to picture us using our gifts and making our individual lives better. And it's not to say you shouldn't, you absolutely should. But we're all in some way called to service. And if we have a gift of invoking and manifesting and creating and co creating the world, can we co create a giant shift in our timeline? The future is not fixed, it is mutable, it is malleable. Time does not exist, it's not fixed. That's why manifestation works, because the timeline is not fixed. Take your gifts and use them for something beyond yourself, beyond your so small dreams. You think they're big because they're just, that's how your ego perceives them. They're small in the grand scheme of things. In the midst of while you're manifesting all of that, manifest clean air. In the midst of while you're manifesting your new car, make sure your new car is battery operated so it's cleaner for the environment. In the midst of while you're manifesting, manifest clean soil. In the midst of while you're manifesting abundance for you and your lineage and your line, and you're building that foundation and you're building that land and you have all of these homes on it, manifest a shift in the mindset of the collective so we can have homes for the homeless. And it's not to say that one person is going to work, but that that line, two or more come together. All I did one evening, and it was just the three of us, but I was like, do this with me. It's pour libations for black women, pour libations for black men, pour libations for the black community to just feel better with each other. And the very next day, I was watching it begin to spiral. And there was only three of us, so I was able to change the energy for a day. Imagine if it had been 10. Imagine if everybody I had invited showed up. How many days I would have been able to see that. This started off about one thing, but I just want to just say, in this moment right now, the collective is grieving. There's a time to go to war and there's a time for peace. And right this minute, I think it's a time for peace. You telling people not to do this, that, and the other thing, I understand that's coming from your place of pain. So there's no judgments, just I would hope that we find peace to share. Thanks for watching. Take care.